Well, hello everybody. It is Dan, your friendly fishmonger from dansfish.com. And today we're going to talk about a beautiful West African cichlid. This is a pretty peaceful fish, definitely very, very colorful. This is Pelvicachromis sacrimontis, and these were collected in the Azumini River is their collection point. So let's take a look. And yeah, they're quickly becoming one of my favorite cichlids. They're pretty cool. Here they are. Alright, here they are. These are the Pelvicachromis sacrimontis. These are from the Azumini River in the province of Abia in Nigeria. And I want to say a couple things as we get started. First off, these guys came in really rough shape. Of all the bags, they were probably the worst off. There were a few losses in the bags when they came, but luckily I was able to get them cleaned up. When I first picked them up at the airport, I was able to take them to Priscilla MK Art's house. Thank you again, Priscilla, to you and your family for letting me do that, and get the water all changed, and then they stabilized. But you'll notice one in here that on the right-hand side has a sore, and it's healing up. It's small now. It used to be really big. So he's doing fine. He's recovering. So when you see that, I just want you to know that I'm aware of it and that it's healing up. It's doing well, actually. Here I'm dumping in some flake food just to show you that they will eat it, even though they're wild fish. This is the second feeding in the video, and so some of them will kind of eat it and spit it out, and eat it and spit it out because they already ate. Some of them are still hungry, didn't get much the first time round, and are just eating it and swallowing it. So if you see some that look really tentative about eating, it's because they already ate. And you'll see that footage a little later in the video, but I realized that the camera was at an odd angle for that first feeding, and I didn't want to start the video with an odd angle. So I started this video with the second feeding. You'll see how vigorously they eat in the first feeding, which is coming right up. And by the way, it's been about, I don't know, a week since I took this video, and they're eating flakes and pellets all the time now and are very accustomed to it. So anyway, with all that out of the way, these are like a Crebensis on steroids. They're bigger. They get about 4 inches or so. I think the smallest fish I have in here is maybe about 3 inches. The biggest is 4, maybe 4.5. And they're stunning. Like, I don't have to describe how pretty they are to you because they're swimming around right there in front of you. You can see it. But I'm quickly falling in love with these guys. I love those bright blue cheeks. I just think that contrasted with the red and their kind of peaceful, curious behavior is really interesting. From the get-go, they weren't timid, they weren't scared. I mean, when I first put them out of the bag and into the tank, yeah. But by the next morning, they were kind of out exploring a little bit, and they got to know me real quick. So in true cichlid fashion, they've got personalities, and they are kind of personable. There's that fish with the sore on the right-hand side right there. You see that kind of white sore right on the lateral line there. I assure you that's a lot better than it was, and he's getting healed up. But so far, in my experience, which is about 2 weeks with this fish, this is not a fish I know very well. They seem to be peaceful, they seem to be very hardy, and they seem to just be an awesome, beautiful, great aquarium addition. The males are the ones with kind of that red coloring on the top of the dorsal fin and those colors on the top of the caudal fin. The females lack that, and so you'll see some females in there. They change their colors quite a bit. In this video I don't think they're doing it, but right now some of the females are pretty darn dark with the bright red belly, so I think they're starting to feel a little more like they're getting in spawning condition, which is encouraging. So my plan with these is I'm going to take a few pairs out and put scatter pairs in different tanks across the room with some caves and just see if I can get any spawning action. So I'll sell most of them, but I'll hold some back because I really like these guys, and just see what kind of luck I have spawning them. I feel like from what I've read and from what I see in here, they're in here with some rice fish. They haven't bothered the rice fish at all. They seem to be a really nice, peaceful kind of community tank cichlid. So I keep mine in the mid-70s. So here's that funky angle I wasn't happy with. So in a bit here you'll see the first round of food come in. And by the way, I'm right by the filter here, so you're seeing a bunch of tiny little oxygen bubbles floating around. The water's actually pretty clear and pretty clean, but in the video we're just seeing all those all those bubbles. I feel like this video is about apologizing for how bad the video is. But anyway, the fish are pretty awesome, and I wanted to show them to you. So yeah, I keep mine in the mid-70s. They're eating flakes, they're eating pellets, they're eating frozen, they're eating live food, and they're eating rapashi really well now, which is great. It makes it really easy to feed them. I always feed a variety, but once they hit rapashi, I love it because I can do the morning feeding, and then I can throw some cubes of rapashi in there to last them, you know, for a while, for any stragglers or anyone that gets peckish for the next few hours. So that's why I love that food. So I've read everything I can find on this species. I've watched every video I can find on it. I don't see a lot of literature on it. It doesn't seem to be a very common fish. Ted Judy has a video out where he talks about how they used to come in all the time, but now they're very, very uncommon in the hobby. Here's the first feeding. Here we go. Apparently in Nigeria there's a lot of, you know, oil drilling and things like that, and according to Ted and what I've looked at some other sites and some other information, that it's had an impact on the environment where these fishes are from, and so now they're kind of rare in the hobby. They're on the CARES list, so I think they're worth keeping around. Anyway, because they're new to me and because I can't find much out there, I don't have a lot more to say about these. Oh, look at that guy. So cute. Bright red face with those bright blue striations. Except for to say, if any of you know any great places I can read up more, if there's a Cribinsis group, not Cribinsis, a Pelvicachromis study group or something like that that has information or anything like that, if you could point me in that direction. I've looked and I haven't found much, but if you could point me there, I would be very appreciative. Well, they're gorgeous. I told you they were gorgeous. Did I mention they're gorgeous? Anyway, if you have questions or comments about the Pelvicachromis in the video, leave them below. We can geek out. And if you have any places you like to go and get information about Pelvicachromis, whether it's Taeniatus or any of the other kind of species like that, I'd be interested in knowing where you get that information. I'm looking for good information on them. They're not a species that I've kept for a long time or anything like that, so I have read everything I can find and I'm looking for more. So if you have any tips, if you're a Pelvicachromis geek and know some stuff or know where to look, then I would love to hear about it. All right, until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.